Not sure I can do that.
C'est la cata. C'est la cata. Je suis pas venue depuis fin août. Mon mari n'a pas eu de train aujourd'hui, donc j'espère qu'il pourra venir demain. Que les frontières ne seront pas fermées ce soir. Voilà.
Vous êtes anxieuse?
Oui. Depuis hier, 4 heures, oui, on était assez anxieux, ouais. Pouvoir partir.
Bueno, sí, es todo. Sí, me daba mucho miedo porque yo tenía un vuelo sí, para el martes, pero no sé si al final van a cancelar todos. Así que compré el último asiento en este vuelo sí, a Manchester ahora mismo.
Now, this new strain is causing concern across Europe. Germany, France becoming the latest nations on the continent to suspend flights from the United Kingdom. For more, let's get to our Brussels reporter, Maria Tadeo. Maria, how disruptive can this get? Do we expect other countries to join this now what's looking like to be a longer list of countries starting to curb the travel from the UK?
Well, Anne-Marie, we could. And this is the thing. In 24 hours, you've seen a growing list of countries, European countries, to put in measures to restrict access from UK travelers into the continent. You're looking at some of the big countries in Europe, Germany, France, Italy, but also, as I mentioned, a growing list of countries that are deciding as a precautionary measure to do that. There is a meeting that will happen at 11 a.m. Brussels time today, and that list could grow bigger. The one exception I would note, however, and this is a key country because we know there's a lot of back and forth of travelers between Spain and the UK, is Madrid. They've decided not to restrict travel for the time being. They see that testing at entry points, meaning airports, will be good enough for the time being, and that if anything, this response should be coordinated at a European level. But clearly, we are going to see disruptions. This is one of the busiest times of the year. You have a lot of people that are trying to make it back home, especially after a year where a lot of people, frankly, Anne-Marie, have been isolated. They haven't really seen their families because of coronavirus. And then you have the impact that this will have on the aviation industry, on the airlines. If you're not able to make it to a flight, clearly you are going to see a whole wave of cancellations come in. So that means you either rebook that flight or you're going to want to get your money back. That puts more pressure on the airlines. And then, of course, you have the political angle from this. I can tell you the European perspective this morning is that the UK is one big mess. You know, if I look at the European press, that is the headline that is coming out from the country, which again, it's not a good thing. If you look at the fact that the Prime Minister was all about global bridge and really thriving after Brexit, that is, as I say, and of course there's spin into this too, I should note, not really the image that I see this morning from Brussels.
This morning, flights grounded as more countries close their borders to the UK, including Germany, Italy, Turkey and Canada, after Britain warned a new strain of coronavirus might be hyper-contagious.
It may be up to 70% more transmissible.
New York's governor questioning inbound flights.
Right now, this variant in the UK is getting on a plane and flying to JFK right now, today. To me, this is reprehensible.
France even closing ports, crucial supply lines for freight. London's world-famous shopping streets deserted days before Christmas. The UK locking down the southeast of England. In the hours after the announcement, crowds rushed to leave by train and by plane. By this morning, the British government adjusting its message.
I think the reality is it will already be in other places, and it's already been found in several other European countries.
And there is evidence of the same virus variant in Italy, Belgium, Denmark and the Netherlands. The new variant has multiple mutations to its spike protein, 17, an unusually high number, affecting its shape. Mutations are not unusual, but this one has spread fast, especially in and around London. And UK COVID cases were falling after tough restrictions. Now they are soaring. The infection rate up 51% this past week.
We don't know for sure that this variant is more infectious.
We don't know. Only mathematical modeling right now was done on that.
The World Health Organization saying it's working with the UK to get a clearer picture.
That research needs to be done.
And we've been talking to experts all morning here, Craig, and some crucial points. These changes are to the spike protein, and that is what the vaccine acts on. But the changes, experts think, are small enough that they won't affect the efficacy of a vaccine. They think a virus would take years to achieve that. They also do not believe that the virus is made more deadly by these changes. But another crucial point, Craig, there are world experts in genome mutations here in the UK. The UK is kind of a centre for this. So one possibility is that the UK has really picked this up more quickly. What does that mean? It means that it is likely to have spread globally already, and that other countries around the world are going to have to follow the UK's lead with the lockdown we're now experiencing here, Craig.
Joining us now, NBC News medical contributor Dr. Vin Gupta. Dr. Gupta, more than 500,000 Americans have been vaccinated so far. First, the Pfizer vaccine, Moderna rolling out its vaccine now. Where are we in the fight to get this thing under control in our country?
Good morning, Craig. You know, it's still going to be an uphill climb, as all forecasts are suggesting, especially the one from the University of Washington. We are expecting that vaccination is really not going to impact the course of this pandemic until the early spring, so March, April timeframe. We think around that time we'll probably have averted, hopefully at least, about 40,000 deaths here in this country. But that just raises the specter of how important it is to continue to avoid non-essential travel, to continue to mask, distance, all the infection control measures that really matter at this point of the year.
Dr. Gupta, there appears to be some indication that this Moderna vaccine especially could actually eliminate transmission. How significant would that be, and how long will it take for us to know whether that's actually the case?
You know, both companies, Pfizer and Moderna, are actively developing a data set to answer that question. Moderna, as you just suggested, in the data they have presented some early data suggesting that transmission, in addition to severe infection, are both averted with their vaccine. We're going to have some greater clarity on this in the next 4 weeks. Again, both companies, in addition to the companies with candidate vaccines in the pipeline, are trying to answer this question more rigorously with more data points. If this is true, Craig, then I think this is important because there's a sense out there, I've heard from some Americans that, you know, once I get the vaccine, I'm going back to normal life. We are begging people not to do that. But if we can get some clarity on this issue, it will allow some degree of normalcy perhaps a little bit more quickly for those who've gotten vaccinated. But again, open question. We still need people to keep their guard up.
Dr. Gupta, you were one of the first folks vaccinated last week there in Seattle. In fact, you did it right here live on the Today Show. At this point, any lingering side effects? As you know, there are still a lot of people watching and listening that are very reluctant about the idea of getting a vaccine shot in their arm that was developed in less than a year.
Not at all, Craig. 24 hours after I got the vaccine on air with you, I had a little left arm soreness that pretty much resolved within that 24-hour time period. Didn't have a fever, didn't have a headache. Really looking forward to getting that second dose on January 6th, and I appreciate the platform to do it on air.
Really quickly here before I let you go, news out of Great Britain this morning, out of the UK, that there's a mutation apparently that they have discovered that could be 70% more transmissible. What more do we know about that? How concerned are you about it?
No, honestly, Craig, we don't know a lot about that number, that 70% number. It's based on studies that have been done in the lab, not actually really analyzing data amongst humans. And there's some suggestion here that really it's human behavior that's accounting for this increased spread in Britain and in South Africa, less that strain of the virus. So more to be determined on that specific issue. Let me also just quickly say that the vaccine, I've gotten this question a lot in the last 24 hours as well, the vaccine will be effective against this new strain. It takes years before, say, the influenza virus is no longer responsive to a vaccine in any given year. It takes years for that process to occur. It's going to take years for that process to occur for COVID-19. Sometime down the road, we may need to update the COVID-19 vaccine if we do need to take it over the course of years, but certainly not now. This vaccine will be effective against this strain, rest assured.
All right, good to hear. Dr. Vin Gupta for us this morning. Dr. Gupta, thanks as always.